Hello students, today in this part we will be talking about some more important information of the kingdom Monera. Okay. In previous session we have discussed about the classification of the bacteria on the basis of various characteristic features. First we have discussed about shape, second we have discussed about the uh, modification or the bacteria on the basis of presence or absence of flagella, that is if flagella is present then it is called trichus, and if flagella is absent it is called atrichus. Then types of trichus, type of bacteria, that is flagellated bacteria. On the basis of arrangement of flagella, we have also discussed the different types of the bacteria, that is monotrichus, amphitrichus, cephalotrichus, lophotrichus and peritrichus. After that, we have also discussed about the structure of flagella. Okay, what it composed of, that is three main parts: basal body, hook and filament. Basal body have two ring structure as well as four ring structure. Four ring structure is most commonly seen in the gram negative bacteria and two ring structure is most commonly seen in the gram positive bacteria. Okay, that we have discussed over here. After that, we have also discussed about the structure of hook. Then after that, filament. Filament consists of a flagellin protein which help in the sliding or the amoeboid type of movement of the bacteria. Okay, then we have also we are going to discuss about the another characteristic feature, that is classification of bacteria on the basis of mode of nutrition. So basically, what do you mean by nutrition? Okay, that is the uptake of nutrients for the purpose of metabolism. Okay, so that is nutrition basically. And here the nutrition in case of bacteria are of two types. Okay, two types of nutritions can be seen. Which are those? These are autotrophic and heterotrophic. Some bacteria are autotrophic. Okay, that means they can synthesize their own food material by themselves, and some bacteria are heterotrophic. They have to depend on other organisms for their nutritional uptake. So let's classify the bacteria on the basis of mode of nutrition. Then later we will discuss about the mode of reproduction, and will draw the structure of bacteria, and will recollect all these points. Okay, so first here, on the basis of mode of nutrition, the bacteria are of two types, that is autotrophic bacteria and that is heterotrophic bacteria. So autotrophic bacteria means what? Those bacteria which can synthesize their own food material, right? So these autotrophic bacteria are further classified into two subcategories again. Okay, that is, if the bacteria, they are utilizing sunlight for their nutritional requirement, like plants, right? In plants also, plant perform the photosynthesis, so they uses the sunlight in the form of photons, and these photons will be converted into usable form of energy by the plants. Similarly here, there are certain bacteria which also uses sunlight for their nutritional requirement or for synthesis of the food material. And here this bacteria also consists of certain pigments which are similar to the chlorophyll pigment which is seen in the plant, but it is not exactly chlorophyll here. Okay, it can be called as bacteriochlorophyll, bacterioviridin. Okay, so we'll discuss about it with the help of certain examples also. So autotrophic bacteria are further divided into the photoautotropic bacteria and chemoautotropic bacteria. So photoautotropic means those bacteria which directly uses the sunlight. Photo means sunlight here. So they uses sunlight for their preparation of the food material. And chemoautotropic in the sense, these are the autotrophs. These are also the autotrophic bacteria, but they uses certain chemicals such as ammonia. Okay, in case of nitrifying organisms, that is nitrogen fixing organisms, these nitrogen fixing organisms, they synthesize the energy by conversion of this ammonia, okay, into nitrate and nitrate to nitrite and nitrite to nitrate. Okay, so that is which is used in the nitrogen fixation, right? So such bacteria utilizes their energy by such conversions. Okay, now photoautotropic bacteria are of again two types. Okay, these are further classified into two main types again, that is the photolithotropic and second is the photoorganotropic. Photolithotropic and photoorganotropic. Now photolithotropic, these are the bacteria. Generally this bacteria has certain photosynthetic pigments. Okay, and these pigments are like bacteriochlorophyll, bacterioviridin. Okay, some may have bacteriopurpurin as a photosynthetic unit. Okay, so these photolithotrophs are again further classified into two main types. Again further classified into two main types, that is here we have the purple sulfur bacteria, and another one we have the green sulfur bacteria. Okay, so we have another, that is green sulfur bacteria. Now what are the examples of these purple sulfur bacteria? Why we are calling purple sulfur bacteria? Because they are purple, okay, purple colored and consisting of sulfur. Okay, so you know the photosynthetic reaction. What is the photosynthetic reaction? If we write here, the photosynthetic reaction, will come to know why these bacteria are purple sulfur bacteria. Okay, so see here, in photosynthesis we have 6 molecules of CO2 plus 12 molecules of H2O. Okay, 6 molecules of CO2 plus 12 molecules of H2O. They combine with the help of light and chlorophyll molecule. They combine with the help of light and chlorophyll molecule, and they are converted into the C6H12O6, that is glucose. They are converted into glucose, that is the organic compound. Okay, and there will be release of plus, there will be formation of 6 molecules of O2, and there will be formation of energy, okay, as a byproduct. So that is how the this plant synthesize their own food material. But in case of bacteria, as they don't have the chlorophyll molecule, they have some another molecule. Okay, what is that? Either it is bacterioviridin or bacteriopurpurin. Okay, so that what it does, instead of H2O, now what is the purpose of H2O? Okay, it is acting as a hydrogen donor, okay, or the proton donor. So what, the proton which is been gathered will be able to generate the energy in the form of ATP. Okay, so it is the hydrogen donor. Okay, as well as oxygen which has been evolved, it is evolved by the same. Okay, so here the hydrogen donor in case of bacteria is not the water, it is either hydrogen sulfide. Okay, it is either hydrogen sulfide, and here this H plus ions or the hydrogen ions are gathered from this hydrogen sulfide. Okay, so that is the difference in the plants and these microorganisms, as these are purple sulfur bacteria or maybe the green sulfur bacteria. Okay, now let's take some examples of this bacteria. What are the basic examples of this bacteria? So example is chromantium. The bacteria under purple sulfur bacteria is the chromantium. And what type of photosynthetic pigment it has? It has the bacteriopurpurin. Bacteriopurpurin. This is the photosynthetic pigment. Okay, this is the photosynthetic pigment, and how they uses or how do they utilizes the what we say hydrogen, that is they uses inorganic type of what we say sulfur, or they uses the inorganic type of sulfur for the production of electrons as well as the protons. Okay, which are used for the synthesis of the energy. Now another, that is the green sulfur bacteria. Okay, what are the examples of the green sulfur bacteria? Are, we can write here example: chlorobium. Chlorobium is the example, and it has the photosynthetic pigment that is called bacterioviridin. Okay, now let's see some more. Okay, so these are the photolithotropic type of bacteria. Okay, so these are the photolithotropic type of bacteria. Now the photoorganotype, okay, or the photoorganotropic type of bacteria, these are again further classified into two main categories. Okay, these are further again classified into two main categories. And what are those two main categories? Okay, so the first we are going to write here is the purple non-sulfur bacteria. Okay, so purple non-sulfur bacteria are the photoorganotropic. And what are the examples? Example of this bacteria is the rhodospirillum. Rhodospirillum. Okay, and it has a photosynthetic pigment, that is bacteriopurpurin. Bacteriopurpurin, and this uses the organic compounds for the production of or for the electron and the proton donation. Okay, or they uses the organic compound as electron and proton donor. Okay, you can write here use organic compound for electron and proton donor. Okay, so these are the example of the purple non-sulfur bacteria. Then next, another category, same but non-sulfur, green non-sulfur bacteria. And the example of this purple non-sulfur bacteria is the chloronema. Is the chloronema, and it has the photosynthetic pigment which is similar to the green sulfur bacteria, that is the bacterioviridin. And this bacterioviridin also uses the organic compounds for electron and proton donor. Okay. Now these are the photoautotropic type of bacteria, that means they uses the sunlight. Okay, this bacteria uses the sunlight, okay, for the production of energy, or they uses photons. And chemoautotropic, these are the, basically you can write nitrogen fixers, N2 fixers. So there are various N2 fixers, that is nitrogen fixers, like nitrosomonas are there, or nitrobacter is also there. Okay, so these bacteria, they are fixing the atmospheric nitrogen, okay, into the usable form, so that during that nitrogen fixation there will be generation of energy, and that energy is used by this chemoautotrophs. Okay, then we will be moving towards the heterotrophic type of bacteria. This was the autotrophic. I hope you have understood this. Now heterotrophic bacteria, the word heterotrophic means those organisms which are depending upon other organisms for their nutritional requirement, right? So heterotrophic bacteria have following categories. Okay, like one here we can call it as a saprophytic. Saprophytic means we have discussed about it. What is saprophytic? These organisms are depending upon dead and decomposing organic matter, right? So that is saprophytic. Another is symbiotic. Now this is the new. Now what is meant by symbiotic? Symbiotic or the symbiosis is a function, okay, where two organisms have some mutual understanding within them, or mutual exchange of certain substances is done within them. Okay, so symbiosis is nothing but a kind of mutual relationship between the organisms. And what is that mutual relationship? It may be for the exchange of the minerals. Okay, so certain bacteria are there. Okay, in saprophyte you can write example of the Clostridium. Okay, example. In case of symbiotic you can write an example of the Rhizobium. So what is Rhizobium? This is a soil bacterium which is gram negative in nature. We know that gram positive and gram negative. Yesterday we have discussed about gram staining, right? So gram negative bacterium which is having a symbiotic association with the root of the leguminous plants. So at the base of the leguminous plants, okay, if we assume this is the soil surface, and here we have the roots of the leguminous plant. Okay, some leguminous plant is there, and to the root, okay, root end there will be formation of a nodule. Okay, there will be formation of the nodule, and these nodules are acting as a reservoir for the occurrence of such Rhizobium bacterium. Okay, such Rhizobium, or another bacterium is also there, that is called Azotobacter. Then mycorrhizae also there, that is the type of fungus, okay, which are also acting as a symbiotic organisms. So what they do, they are infecting the roots of the leguminous plant and causing the occurrence of tumor, because the bacteria have a particular organelle called plasmid, that is extra chromosomal set of DNA, okay, and which is capable of causing the kind of tumor within the root of the plant, and that tumor will be acting as a home for the growth of bacteria, where they convert the inorganic complex minerals into simple and make available to the plants, and from plants they get other nutrition for their growth and development. So that is how the symbiosis is under heterotrophic mode of nutrition, right? So that means they are also depending upon the plants, and plants are also depending on these bacteria in some manner. Okay, then another one is the parasitic. Last one, parasitic. So we know that parasites, okay, there are two types of parasites basically, ectoparasites, endoparasites. And what is the role of this parasite? Parasites are the organisms which depend upon the other organisms, living organisms, for their nutritional requirement, right? So it's not like saprophyte. Some parasites like bacteria which causes the diseases. If we take an example of the disease causing bacteria, let's take an example of the Mycobacterium tuberculosis, which causes the tuberculosis, as well as if we talk about the Vibrio cholera, okay, the bacteria which causes the cholera disease, okay, or anthrax, any diseases. These diseases which are caused by the bacteria are caused to the humans. Even some of the diseases are also caused in the plants also. If you talk about bacterial blight, okay, then such type of diseases are seen in most of the plant. Okay, then these diseases means the parasite is using their host machinery for its multiplication, right? So that is the how parasites work. Some parasites, they are working from the external part of the body, and some are being invaded within the body. So on that basis we can classify them ectoparasites and the endoparasites. Okay, so that is how parasitic type of microorganisms can, or the bacteria can also be seen. Okay, you can write the bacteria which are causing the diseases like cholera, TB and anthrax, okay, or etc. So this is the way of classifying the bacteria on the basis of mode of nutrition. I hope you all got this information. Then we'll be moving to the next part, that is the classification of bacteria on the basis of mode of reproduction. Okay, so you can pause the video and note down this flow chart, okay, and you have to write it in your notebooks also. So, sorry, on the basis of mode of nutrition, okay, on the basis of mode of nutrition, we have done. Now mode of reproduction. So students, we know that what is reproduction. Reproduction is a process for continuation of the species. Okay, so how to define this reproduction? Reproduction is defined as the process by which there will be formation of a young one from the pre-existing one, okay, of same kind. So that is called reproduction. So if we talk about the reproduction, there are two types of reproduction which are seen in the living organisms. That is asexual mode of reproduction and sexual mode of reproduction, right? So what is asexual means? Where the sexual organs are not being used for the reproduction, means it is without involving the gametes, that is male gamete and the female gamete. And the reproduction which involves the fusion of gamete, okay, that means there is a use of reproductive organs, that means that is a sexual type of reproduction. Okay, so let's categorize this sexual and asexual type of reproduction, and let's see what are the examples under this sexual and asexual type of reproduction. Now reproduction in bacteria, okay, so can be categorized into two ways in bacteria. Okay, so here we can see two modes of reproductions are here, that is the asexual see, sometime it is also been referred as when there is involvement of a single parent. Okay, such type of reproduction is also referred as asexual, because as we see there is no involvement of other gametes, right? most of the time we see the animals, okay, they are having dimorphism. Sexual dimorphism can be seen, that is male and female are separate. Okay, so here in case of these organisms or the bacteria, these bacteria perform asexual reproduction by means of binary fission. And how they perform this binary fission, let's see here. So asexual reproduction most probably seen by the binary fission in bacteria. Okay, so we know that bacterial cell, if you draw the bacterial cell, suppose assume it is a bacterial cell, and to the cell membrane there will be formation of a structure that is called mesosome. Okay, this mesosome is acting as a genetic material also. Okay, it is acting as a genetic material in the bacterial cell. Okay, so first of all there will be multiplication of this genetic material or the mesosome, and finally the cell will divide into two equal halves. So there will be formation of a two daughter cells from a single cell or a single bacterial cell. So it is mesosome. So it will undergo multiplication and there will be formation of the two mesosomes. Okay, two mesosomes will be formed. These two mesosomes, when they are formed, the cell will form a cytokinesis or it will undergo cytokinesis. Okay, first step is the karyokinesis, means nuclear division. Okay, here the nucleus or the genetic material of the bacteria is getting divided into two equal halves. First, that is copying of the mesosome. Then it is undergoing cytoplasmic division, that is called cytokinesis. Okay, so there will be formation of a two daughter cells from this single cell. Okay, that is you can write two daughter cells, okay, from a single bacterial cell. Now this is called binary fission. Okay, now apart from this binary fission we have another mode of reproduction which is also commonly seen, that is see, this is the first, second will write here, that is endospore formation. Endospore formation. So students, you might be familiar with the technique which is daily used by our mothers in the kitchen, that is boiling of milk. Why we boil the milk? Because milk consists of various bacteria, okay, and these bacteria are responsible for causing certain diseases also. Okay, so most common bacteria which is found in the milk is the lactobacillus or the lactic acid bacteria, which releases lactic acid under their favorable conditions. So what, sometime our milk also gets spoiled, right, if we don't boil it or if we don't preserve it by preserving under cold storage, right, that is refrigeration. That means there is a formation of the multiplication of the bacteria. So what, we have to boil it. So what happens, many times we see that after boiling also sometime milk spoils. Why it is? Because the bacteria, they have a property, okay, they get converted into endospore, okay, or in the spores. That means when the bacteria don't have favorable conditions, so it is generally in the unfavorable condition. Okay, so what happens in the unfavorable condition? That means there will be formation of the spores. Okay, so the bacterial cell, if we look after the bacterial cell, this is the cell wall and this is the mesosome. Okay, that is the mesosome. Okay, so this mesosome will generate a thick layer around it. Okay, and this thick layer is called as the capsule. Is called as the capsule, and this cell wall will be degenerated due to the higher temperature. But this capsule, it is resistant to the higher temperatures. So the bacteria which were present, okay, they will die, but partially, because they have surrounded by a thick layer of capsule which is capable of preserving this bacterial genetic material, right? And when they get the favorable condition, that means normal conditions are there, okay, at that time they find the source and they germinate again into the new bacteria, okay. So it cannot be seen as the reproduction, but it is the property of the bacteria to germinate again. So the sexual reproduction in the bacteria can be studied through different mechanisms, okay. So sexual reproduction means what? When there is involvement, that is of two different gametes, right, male gamete and the female gamete. When there is a formation and fusion of male and female gamete to form the zygote or to form the new individual, such type of interaction can be called as the sexual reproduction. Or you can also define it as the formation of new organism by the involvement of the two different parents, okay. Two different parent means male and female parents, okay. So that is called sexual reproduction. Now here sexual reproduction in bacteria, it is studied through certain experimental observations. So first here we can see the first mode of sexual reproduction in bacteria is studied by transformation. So what is transformation? It is nothing but transfer of genetic material. Listen to me carefully what I am saying. It is the transfer of genetic material from one bacterium to another bacterium, okay. So how this transfer takes place? It takes place by the infusion, okay. Now the idea of the transformation was given by a scientist called Griffith, okay. Now what he was performing an experiment on the genetic material, that whether what is the genetic material, either DNA, protein or something, okay. So it was a experimental approach, and what he found there is something which is responsible for transfer of characters from one bacteria to another bacteria, okay. And how he approached this, that he selected two strains of the bacteria. One strain was the smooth and another strain was the rough strain, okay. So the smooth strain was with the capsule around it and the rough strain was without capsule around it, okay. So that rough strain was having just a protoplasm, okay, don't have the capsule, so it was not virulent, it was not causing the disease, okay. And the smooth strain was responsible for causing the disease, right. So when he added these strains into the mice, he found that smooth strain is causing disease, so mice dies. Later he heat killed the S strain. Heat killed means he given a heat treatment to the smooth strain and he combined the smooth strain and rough strain, okay, and he introduced into the mice, and what he found that there is something which is converting the rough strain into smooth strain. See, there is something, and that something was nothing but a genetic material only, okay. So what we can define, the transfer of genetic material from one bacterium to another bacterium is called transformation, okay. So this is a way of reproduction in the bacteria. Then second is the transduction. Now what happens in transduction is there will be infection to the bacteria by viruses, and these are called the bacteriophages. Now what these bacteriophages are, they look like this, that means they have a hexagonal head, a middle piece to which there is a formation of the tail fibers, okay. You can also see in the textbooks, if you have the textbooks, okay, with you, you can also observe such a diagram within this. So this is the head piece, middle piece and the tail fibers. These viruses are called bacteriophage, which will infect the bacterial cell, means they will be placed naturally on the surface of the bacterial cell and transfer their genetic material into the bacteria, and where they have the plasmid, okay, which is capable of combining this genetic material and multiply autonomously. Okay, so what, there will be multiplication of the viral genetic material, and hence the virus will be again taking birth within the bacterial cell. Okay, so from one bacteria to another bacteria, again there will be transformation. So here this type of what we say mode of reproduction is also been studied as genetic recombination. There is a genetic recombination. Okay, so which was given by Zender and Lederberg. Okay, Zender and Lederberg. Now another way of reproduction is the conjugation. Okay, third way of reproduction is the conjugation. Okay, so what is conjugation over here? See, conjugation. If we look after the rough sketch of a bacterial cell, okay, it consists of an outer capsule, internal cell membrane, and to which there will be attachment of the flagella, and on the surrounding of this bacterial cell there will be formation of a small structures, outgrowths. These are called as the villi, that is sex villi. So these are the sexual organs present on the bacterial cell. Okay, now the bacteria, okay, they have a special type of organelle that is called plasmid. What is plasmid? It is extra chromosomal set of DNA. Already bacteria has its own genetic material in the form of mesosome, but still it has an extra chromosomal DNA. Okay, let's see here how conjugation takes place. So this is suppose one bacterial cell. This is the cytoplasm. Here cytoplasm is there, and within the cytoplasm we can see there is a mesosome. Okay, mesosome, and there will be formation of a extra chromosomal set of DNA called plasmid. And this plasmid has a property, that means it can replicate by its own. It doesn't require bacterial permission to reproduce. So it will multiply by its own into many types. That is, from one plasmid it will multiply to 50 more types, okay, or 50 more plasmids. Now this is also referred as the HFR. Okay, HFR strain, HFR. What do you mean by HFR? That is high frequency recombination. Okay, so it is responsible for creating various recombinants or the various copies of its own. Okay, now we'll draw another bacterium. Okay, the bacterium, again cell wall, cell membrane. Okay, there is a mesosome, but it does not have the plasmid. Plasmid is not there. So what do we call this bacteria? This will be called as F minus, and this, the bacteria with the plasmid, is called as F plus. Now what is F plus, F minus? F plus means fertility factor and F minus means it is infertility. Okay, it does not have the fertility factor. Okay, so the fertility factor means it is having the plasmid. Now the sex villi which is present over here, okay, will form a tube, okay, or it will be acting as a bridge between these two bacteria, and there will be transfer of one of the small fragment of plasmid DNA into this bacteria which is without the plasmid, and this has the property of the plasmid, that is, it is self-replicating molecule. It will multiply and form the another plasmid within the bacteria. So it will again become the F plus later. That means through the conjugation tube, okay, there is a transfer of genetic material. This tube is called as the conjugation tube. So through the conjugation tube, transfer of genetic material take place, and there will be formation of a F plus. So in this way we can see the new offsprings are formed within the bacteria, that is sexual mode of reproduction. Now one more point I would like to add here is the reproduction which is seen in the bacteria, whether it is asexual, sexual. bacteria multiplies within 20 minutes. See here, 20 minutes, okay, is the replication time of the bacteria. So in the binary fission also we can see from one bacterial cell there will be formation of two bacterial cells or the two daughter cells within the 20-minute itself. Now in the next part we will be talking about the structure of bacteria by combining all these characteristic features, okay, that is shape, presence or absence of flagella. Then we will discuss about the whether it is gram positive or gram negative type of bacteria. Then we will talk about the uh, difference between gram positive and gram negative, we will see. Then we will talk about the mode of respiration. On the basis of mode of respiration, what we have seen, or there are two types of respiration, aerobic and anaerobic, okay. We will write down some examples also. Then we will talk about mode of nutrition, okay. We will see the nutrition, how they take the nutrition, means through the bacterial cell structure, what are the cell organelles involved in these processes. Then we will talk about the reproduction, again the structures which are like villi, that can be easily seen onto the structure of the bacteria, okay. So in the next part we will be talking of the structure of bacteria. Thank you.